Hello, hello, everyone. Welcome back. So glad to see you guys. Oh my goodness. Hope you had a great weekend. We had an eventful weekend this past weekend out here in Western PA. It's kind of autumn festival season, and so we had that going on out here. Hope you guys had fun where you are. Hey, I'm going to put GF. Man, with my shirt, you just can't even see that. Tell you what, we're going to bring up Maddie here. There you go. Got this fancy shirt for my birthday. There we go. So you can get my attention in the live chat by putting GF in your comment if you want me to check it out. Just want to bring that up first and foremost. Okay, so we are once again continuing our coverage. Man, we are deep diving, guys. The case of Madeline Soto. Quick, summary of this case is that Madeline was 13 years old. Madeline, the story went missing after being dropped off at school by this guy, a man named Stephan Stearns. Stephan Stearns was the on-again, off-again boyfriend of Madeline's mother, Jennifer Stearns. Of course, we know now that she was never dropped off at school, and so when Jen went to pick her up, she had never been there. Stephan claimed that he dropped her off early, and then she went missing. She hadn't gone missing. This was February 26th of this year. About a week later, a little less than that, it was on the 1st of March, her body was found. So that is what we're continuing to cover here on the channel. Now, this video, like all my videos, I should be like Gazelle K on Grizzly True Crime and just tell everybody from the beginning, hey, this content is not for children, okay? This content is not for children. We talk about grown-up stuff here. We try to do so in a sensitive manner, in a tasteful manner, but we're talking about horrible, horrible things. Little Miss Maddie here, she had been abused, allegedly. The police allege, and I believe them, that she had been SA'd for at least 5 years, and they're saying this is the guy that did it. Okay, so this is grown-up stuff, guys. Grown-up stuff. Children, don't watch this. Just don't. This content is not for you. Okay? What we're going to be doing today is watching part of a video of the, what do we call this? Interrogation or first interview of Stephan Stearns. The video as it came out of the Orange County Sheriff's Office was like 6 hours long, if I remember correctly. And so what I have done here is I have shortened it down to, about 2 hours. Oh no, about an hour and 20 minutes. I've shortened it way down. Okay. So we're going to do this in 3 parts. Now, there's probably some pretty bad language in this. I have not watched the whole thing, but one of the things that I did go through and do is Mr. Stearns was strip searched here. Specifically, he had photographs of his manhood taken as evidence. They did not redact any of that in this video. So I have gone through, in case you're concerned about this, I've gone through and I have redacted that myself. 1, I don't want to be demonetized, and 2, I don't think we need to look at Stephan's junk in order to understand what it is that they're doing. So I have redacted that part, and I don't think we'll get to it probably until the 3rd part, but I wanted to give you guys a heads up on that. It's really graphic what they're doing. The other thing that I've done is I have augmented a little bit the audio because it was really hard to understand. I didn't use AI on this one because I was afraid that it would get things wrong. So I just did some basic touch up of the audio. I dehummed it, I denoised it. I put a hard limiter on it, amplified it a little bit. So just some basic stuff. So hopefully we'll be able to understand this pretty darn well. But I wanted to, again, give you that heads up because you're going to be sitting here going, this doesn't sound good, Gavin. Well, you're right. It doesn't, because this is the recording that we got. Okay. So once again, put GF in the comments as we go through this. If you want me to see your comment as we're watching video, I'll be going through comments and I'll be sharing them up on the screen. And if I don't share it on the screen, it's not an indication that I don't like the comment. They're just some things that I moderate or I hold for later. Okay. So with that, got my headphones on, got the video queued up. Let's go ahead and start watching. We'll probably pause along the way as we watch. Just want to check you guys can hear that.
Stephan.
I did my best, by the way, to normalize the audio so that, like, as I pause, I'm not too low, and you have to turn it up. And then I play, and it blows out your eardrums. I did my very best.
How you doing, sir?
Sorry.
That's okay. Didn't mean to wake you up.
It's okay.
I'm going to introduce myself. My name's Mark. I work for the Kissimmee Police Department.
Nice to meet you, Mark.
This is Corporal Elgin. Brandon.
Oh.
I understand you've been here for a little bit. So, just to give you a little bit of background, the reason we are here now is because
Oh, yeah.
Jennifer.
Anytime the sound drops off there, guys, and I've told you this in videos past, but that is a redaction that has happened from the Orange County Sheriff's Office. I did not do that. It does seem to be that anytime they mention Madeline, obviously anything that is sensitive in regards to the abuse that she suffered, they redact that audio.
Yourself reside in the city of Kissimmee. So initially they thought, dropped off at school and it would be an Orange County case. It seems like since she lives
I'm sorry, real quick, and I'm sorry to do this, guys. Just to set this up, this interview happened on February 28th. Okay, so it's the second day after Madeline was missing. Monday was the 26th, so this would be Wednesday, the 28th. It's about 3:45 in the afternoon. Remember that Madeline, her body was not found until the 1st. So, and this is a leap year, so it's another 2 days before her body is found. They do not know that Madeline is dead, though I'm sure they suspect it.
Kissimmee, that's the reason we're going to do the case.
I
Okay.
see.
You understand?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me just grab some things here real quick.
Hey, Maxine, I'm going to come
All right.
back to this comment.
I know that you were brought up here by detectives, right? Detectives drove you? Okay. And that was earlier today.
I have no idea how long ago that was.
It was sometime today.
Sometime today.
Yeah.
Correct.
So being that you're here, we're here, you were taken here by detectives, I just need to get this out of the way just so we can talk about how we're or where she may be, okay? All right. Have you ever been in trouble ever in your life?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever had your rights read to you at any point in your life?
I must have.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, I'm going to do them again just to get it out of the way, and then we can talk about school and stuff like that, okay? All right. You have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you in the court of law. You have the right to talk to a lawyer and have him present with you while you're being questioned. If you cannot afford to hire a lawyer, one will be appointed to represent you before any questioning. Do you understand these rights? Okay, perfect. All right. So before we start talking,
Hey, let me just pause here and just a reminder to all the smart non-criminals that watch my channel. Okay, those rights that were just read to him, that we all know as the Miranda warning, right? They lay out very specific rights that were codified into law in Miranda v. Arizona. Okay, everybody watching this who is a non-criminal should never, ever, ever talk to the police without an attorney present. Ever. Okay? Now, as far as stupid criminals go, you talk all you want. I'm very glad that Stephan Stearns talked. But he's sitting here, just think about this. He's sitting here with a missing child, And the police already have his phone. The police they've already seen the evidence. These two guys here, Mark and Brandon, they've already seen it all. They know that Stephan has been abusing, or at least they've seen evidence that tells them, that informs them that Stephan has been abusing this little girl for years. And yet he will continue to talk to them because he is an idiot. Like, I'm glad he is, but never ever do this. Okay. Never, never ever do this. But once again, I'm glad that it happened. Okay. They know everything. They're going to arrest him, and they know they're going to arrest him. They're buddying up. Hey, I'm Mark. This is Corporal. No, please call me Brandon. Right? They're buddying up to him. They're doing a good job.
Can you just raise your right hand? Do you swear and affirm that the statement you're about to give is the truth, nothing but the truth, to the best of your knowledge, so help you God?
Yes.
Beautiful. Okay. All right. Let's talk about your... We just talked to Jennifer a little bit, so...
Hey, I love this comment. I'm sorry I have to pause, but I love this comment. I think SS is so narcissistic that he thought he could fool detectives. That is one reason that a person might talk to police. The other reason that they tend to talk to police is because they want to know what police know. So they think they can give them a little bit here and there, some details that are inconsequential, things that they've already told them, and hopefully they will get something out of the police. It is just a stupid thing to do. Don't talk to the police. But unless you're a criminal, then talk all you want.
Where'd you meet her?
Work.
Where was that at?
We worked for a home building company. It's no longer in business, but we're both in the call center area.
Oh, okay. So like selling homes, or...
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean he's arrested right now, or that he will be, but yeah. And no, he's not arrested right now. This is a redaction, I think.
You lived in Kissimmee.
Yeah, that was a redaction. That's why the audio went down.
Because I know Jennifer said she's lived in Kissimmee for years.
Yeah. Off and on for years myself.
Okay. Any family that lives in Kissimmee?
No.
Okay. So on and off, how long do you think you lived in Kissimmee?
This stretch, 2 or 3 years.
Okay. Jennifer kind of mentioned that, then you moved back to wherever your parents live. And where's that at?
It's in Northport. It's down by Sarasota.
Okay, so on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. So she had a birthday recently. She had a birthday party Sunday?
Sunday, yeah.
Okay.
So
did you come to the party?
No.
I already know the answer to this question.
I was on my way up at that point.
Okay. So the party ends. Did you pick them up from the party?
Someone must have dropped her off.
Okay.
She was there when I got there. Jen asked me to make sure that in the shower and did her bedtime routines, which she did. She was already on top of it, so nothing to do there.
Okay. What time do you think you got back in Kissimmee?
What time I got into Kissimmee?
Yeah.
Maybe 8 o'clock, 8:30ish, something like that.
And I apologize if you've answered these questions before. It's just like I said, we're coming into the game late, so I may ask you things that you've already answered probably 3 or 4 times.
I apologize as well. My memory is not super reliable.
I'll share this opinion later. Angie, thanks for the question.
Okay, that's fine. What do you take medicine for?
Anxiety mostly. I've been having some money troubles lately. Anxious over that, so.
Okay, well, hopefully your money troubles get better.
I've been medicated on Ativan since probably Saturday.
Okay, gotcha. All right, so when you got to Kissimmee and you got to the apartment, what happened? Like,
Made some dinner, made some ramen. I love how I made my ramen. Then we started watching Sister Act, but it was time for her to start getting ready. Basically, just as we were starting Sister Act.
Okay.
Oh, he's got details ready to go.
And that was
She loved my
just
ramen.
about bedtime.
It's talking about her in the past tense, by the way.
10:30, 11ish,
Okay.
something like that. It's a spectrum, not a set time.
Mm-hmm. Then, so who's going through the bedtime routine? Because I know Jennifer says she has somewhat of a little routine too that she does. Is it her? Are you talking about?
Jennifer's routine is taking her meds, eating some food so that she can have the proper calories for the meds. And then she's got about an hour to do whatever she needs to do because she needs to fall asleep at that point.
Okay, gotcha.
Her bedtime routine is taking her bedtime meds, brushing her hair. She should have showered that night, and then she goes to bed as well. Usually with some bombs or something on in the background.
Dana, I'm going to come back to your comment too. You guys have a couple of really, really good comments here. I've put a star on it. I'll come back to it.
Got it. What are the sleeping arrangements?
These are things they already know.
Okay. Did she sleep in her bed Sunday night?
No. I was just back. I'd been away for a couple months. We in the same bed together, so to get some serious sleep. So she said no to that and suggested that the guest room upstairs had a big enough bed. So some snuggle cuddle time that would suffice, and Jen would get to sleep in peace.
Okay. So you say snuggle time. What does that mean?
I like to be alone. She is extremely dependent. She does not like to be alone at all. She needs human presence around her. Basically.
Gotcha.
Snuggle time.
Wean her off of that, but it's been difficult.
Mm-hmm. What?
I think he's on his way down too to help.
Gotcha. Okay.
Last I heard.
All right. So Jennifer says go up. So snuggle time with you to help her go to sleep. Is that right?
Just bedtime. Yeah.
Bedtime. Okay. Did you stay in the room the entire night?
Not the entire night. I'm usually up and down sometimes. So I might go grab a drink or something, or I'm up and down sometimes.
Gotcha. But you didn't at any point go. Okay. All right. So night goes on. Morning time comes around, and it's to school. Walk me through that a little bit. Excuse me.
Morning routine. She usually starts waking up. We set about 3 alarms. First one
Me too,
goes off,
Liz.
we let her keep snoozing.
Do you remember what time her alarm goes off? Or what?
Not really. Maybe 7:30ish. I'm not
Okay.
sure. Alarm goes off. We let her snooze about 3 times while we start getting ourselves ready. And after the 3rd snooze, it's time for her to get up for real and start getting ready. Typically, she will have showered the night before, so she needs to brush her hair, brush her teeth, excuse me, get her book bag together, eat some breakfast if she's going to eat there, and then we eventually make our way out the door.
Okay. So walk me through, like, you leave, you take her to school in your car?
Yeah.
Okay. And what kind of car do you have?
It's a Lincoln. It's actually my parents' car because my car is down south. It needs maintenance, and we're scared to drive it too much. So I'm driving a Lincoln right now. Got out early. The plan was to get some McDonald's on the way. So we got out nice and early.
Do you remember what time you left, roughly?
Not 100%.
Okay.
I'm sorry. My memory has not been super reliable.
No, that's fine.
But it was early. Maybe 7:30, 7:45, something like that. I'm not sure. I'm honestly not certain.
That's fine.
The plan
Was Jennifer awake when you guys left?
Semi-awake. I was giving her updates as we were going along. Getting ready, she's getting dressed. We're leaving now. Goodbye. But she was sleeping in, so I was just giving her little updates and poking my head in as we went. But we leave the house. We start making our way to the school. Most of the time.
I'm just looking some stuff up here, guys.
Towards her school area. I asked her if she's still in the mood for McDonald's. She says no. She doesn't want it anymore. Okay. Continued on. It was still pretty early though, I think. We still had some time to kill. It wasn't really time to drop her off yet. So I ended up actually turning around at some point and going back to the community to get the clicker. I had to use my parking sticker to get in for the guy to scan. I had some errands to run afterwards, and I wanted to have my phone. But we still had plenty of time as far as I knew. So we did that, grabbed the clicker, left again. And that's when we drove over to her school area, and I dropped her off where I dropped her off.
Okay. Do you remember where you dropped her off?
Yeah, it was the stretch of road. I forget the street name. It was the stretch of road that the school is on. Make a right onto it. It goes down a little ways. There's some communities over here, and then up further there's a church, and then there's the overpass and the school on the other side of the overpass right there. I dropped her off on that stretch where the communities are.
Was she by herself when you dropped her, or was her friends there?
Yeah, she was by herself. She said she was going to go find her friends and hang out, wait for them to show up.
Okay.
It was still early.
Where did you go after that? Like, did you see her walk towards the...
I saw her making her way towards the direction of the school, but she was like kind of shuffle steps. She was meandering her way there. She was rummaging through her backpack for something. I assumed she was looking for headphones maybe. But as it turns out, she did leave her phone at home that day, so she might have actually been looking for her phone.
It's a great question, Murray.
What was she wearing when she left, or when you dropped her off?
Green hoodie, black shorts, black or blue, black shorts, white Crocs.
White Crocs. Okay. Alright, so she's walking towards the school. Do you continue straight when you leave? Or do you turn around?
I turned around and went back the other way.
PJ, that question is actually pretty haunting to me. Did he do it just to sleep with her for her birthday? Oh, man. Oh, man. That is just, I'm not saying you're dark. That is just, that my mind, that is so dark. My mind has a hard time even thinking that way. Wow.
I was watching her in my rearview mirror.
Great comment.
And she was going the right direction, so it looked okay.
And where did you go after that?
The next stop I wanted to go to was the vape shop. It opened at 10, so I had a little while, so I just kind of meandered around and eventually made my way over there to wait for it to open. It didn't open when it was supposed to, so I left and came home, and then went back about an hour later when I was sure it would have to be open at that point. Got what I needed there, and made my way back to home again. Relaxed and hung out with Jen for a while. Seemed like any other morning.
When you got back home after school, was Jennifer home at the time?
I think she was on her way home. I think that she had a blood appointment, and we were both kind of going to arrive very shortly with some time with each other.
Okay. So when you got home, both of you got home, walk me through the rest of the day.
Just hung out, chit-chatted. I mean, I don't know. It's not much to recollect.
But you stayed at home pretty much all day, or no?
Pretty much until maybe noonish or 1 o'clock. I had a few errands to run, but I wanted to be back in time for us to go. So I just ran up and down 192.
Up and down
Flat
192.
at some point, which made me late to get.
Where'd you get a flat at?
Somewhere along 192.
192 is a big road.
It is, and honestly, it all looks the same to me. So I've been asked, do you remember what plaza you were next to, what color? And I'm like, I'm ADD as it is, and I was in a medicated fog for the better part of a week. I'm lucky I remember what color I'm wearing right now.
Do you remember what errands you were running?
Yeah, I wanted to go check out some game shops.
Where were these game shops?
There's Coliseum of Comics, there's House Rule Games nearby. A lot of the Targets and Walmarts carry the game I was looking forward to. It just had a new release on Friday, so even though I don't have much in the way of money right now, I still wanted to look and see what the situation is.
It's always nice to window shop.
It is. And I'm a serial consumer.
That's a good question, Lori.
So I was just driving around.
Thank you.
Up and down 192, sort of just aimlessly, honestly. Just killing time till it was time to go back.
All right. So when you got home, did you and Jennifer leave from school?
So I got home. It was 10 minutes later than Jen had wanted to. By 10 minutes, I called her and said, "Hey, where are you? I'm so sorry. I got a flat." She already left. She had been gone for 10 minutes. It didn't make sense for her to come back and get me. She likes to be the first in line when the kids start coming out.
Okay. Then wasn't at school. So what happened? Did Jennifer call you after that, or what?
I was already on the phone with her while she was waiting. We were just chit-chatting. We do that. We just keep each other company, even if we're not physically together. And she's yeah. And that's when we started asking questions. Did she go somewhere else? Did she know that you were going to come pick her up? Did she possibly go to her office, which has kind of been what she's been doing for the past working a new schedule. So we started making all the calls. And no one had seen her yet. And so that's when we started getting a lot more concerned and panicked. She drove around a little more, looking for her, looking along the walking paths, and didn't see anything. Went to her not there, waited around, not there, went back to the school, not there. At that point, the whole family started rallying up and going to meetings, and I think that it was around that.
Going back to school, how was she like on the car ride there?
Just calmed down, sleeping.
Oh, that makes me mad.
Along the way. she does that.
Thank you, PJ. She was conked out sleeping. Oh.
How often have you? How often have you?
Not often, honestly. This might have been my third or fourth morning school run. I'm not normally the one to do it.
And on the other occasions, has she had you drop her off in and around the same location, or how does that?
She has this image thing. I guess it's, she only likes to be seen getting out of certain cars in front of the school. But I guess kind of a hoopty, and she's embarrassed.
Lincoln?
Nice looking Sentra. So yeah, this is not the first time she's asked me to drop her off a little ways down so she could walk up and look cool.
So you say she was
Didn't he
conked
just
out
say that he doesn't
on the way there?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't he just say that this was the first time that he took her to school, but then he follows that by saying that wasn't the first time she asked him to stop short of the school? Did I miss something there?
You said you took her to school, or you were on her way to school, you needed to turn around to get your clicker.
Correct.
Was she sleeping then, too?
She was, yeah.
Okay.
It had been an early morning, so I figured it'd be fine to let her sleep in the car ride.
Okay.
They already
you
know.
You got back to the apartment complex, or did you go in the front gate, or because I know there's the front entrance and then the back entrance?
When I came back after forgetting my phone.
Yeah. So which way did you leave?
I would have had to go in the front.
Okay.
And the guy scanned it. And I got in and got my phone and left. I don't remember if I left out the front or the back.
Did you stop anywhere else in? No.
Not that I recall, no.
Okay. Did you take any trash out from the apartment?
Dom's mom will come back to this question. Good question.
Was it night before I think I did? I'm not sure. I took the trash out at some point, but I don't remember.
Good observation,
It was the night before, or it was the morning of. Yeah, sometimes we get trash bags piling up by the door. Not to see them.
Is there like a common trash place, or like is there take their trash to?
Yeah.
Okay. Is that where you took the trash out?
Yeah.
Okay. And you don't remember if that was Sunday night or Monday morning?
It could have been Sunday night. I don't recall. I'm sorry, I was in fog.
I was in a fog, medically induced, or medication induced fog.
Okay. So
Yeah, Little Smith.
You don't know?
Supposedly they got video of her walking past the church or waiting at the church for a while and then leaving.
How's your relationship with her?
Great. One of her favorite people in the world.
Again, this is a redaction that they made. While we're going through this redaction, guys, there are a lot of comments that I've starred we'll come back to.
How old are you?
I'm 37. About to be 38.
You seem like a genuinely nice person.
I try to be.
Jennifer talks very highly of you. You know. So the
Yes,
morning
Medra. Yes.
school. when you came back, get your clicker. What was or
She wasn't saying anything. She was just asleep. She was just reclined in the chair, sleeping.
okay? Explain to me, like reclining backwards.
Just like, just laying back in the chair,
Mm-hmm.
like that, I guess.
Okay. All right. Stuff on here. I'm too old to lie to people. Too old to beat around the bush, and we seem like we're having a generally good conversation right now. Okay. The only thing that I ask for from you is, and I will reciprocate, I want you to be honest with me as much as I'm being honest with you. Okay. There's cameras in all over the place, as you can imagine. Nowadays, cameras are everywhere. Okay. So we see you coming in at the guard shack. Okay. We see you go by the dumpster. Okay.
This is a really good strategy, guys. This is a really good strategy. Okay, wait a minute. He's told us everything that he has prepared to tell us. Now let's drop something on him that is going to scare him. Hey, Stephan, there are cameras everywhere. We see what it was that you were doing, and we saw you at the dumpster. And I've just wanted you to be honest with me. Like, this is to stir him up. This is to get him scared, right? This is to frighten him into maybe changing up his story a little bit. This is very good.
I may have taken some trash with me then.
What was in the trash?
House trash.
House trash?
Yeah. So it must have been that morning then. We'll toss trash bags on the back seat, and wherever we're going on our way out, we'll drop that on the way. I think I may have mentioned to her before. I'll have to double check.
Okay. Was everything in trash bags?
I'm sorry?
Was everything in trash bags, or was there any items that were just tossed along with the bag?
I think it would have been trash bags, or maybe some boxes too. Some birthday stuff, leftovers.
They already know what's in the trash.
Can't remember exactly what.
Okay. When you
Great comment, Lily.
did she have her backpack with her?
Yes.
She did.
They already have her backpack.
Did she have her school computer with her?
Yes. Presumably.
They already have her computer.
Presumably. Okay.
She should have.
Once again, this goes back with the whole honesty thing. There was things in that trash bag that got thrown away that probably shouldn't have been thrown away. Okay. We'll get that in a minute. But
this is
right now.
That is a perfect indication, by the way, guys. That was a very good indication. Stephan Stearns is trying to get information out of the police. This is classic cat and mouse that happens in these kinds of interrogations. The only reason he is speaking to them, he's telling them things that he already is comfortable with because he's already told them those things. And now they're dropping little things here and there. Like, wait a minute. Did she have her backpack with her? Yeah, she had her backpack with her. Did she have her laptop? Of course, I guess, probably in her backpack. Okay, but we saw you at the, and so and that little hint where he's like, there's some things in the trash that shouldn't have been there. And Stephan's like what? Like what? He wants to know what it is that they know. He still thinks that he's not under arrest here. And he's technically right. He's not under arrest here, but he's going to be arrested here very soon. And he still thinks that he can get away with this. It's just baffling to me that he can believe that he's going to get away with this, knowing, I mean, in this moment, his heart has to be going a million beats a minute, right? He has to be so nervous. And of course, they're not going to tell him anything. They want to learn from him what he knows. They're just dropping subtle little hints. It's really good. They do a very good job.
Our main focus is finding.
Wrong one.
That is our number one focus right now. Okay. Do you have any idea where she may be?
No.
None whatsoever.
No.
Okay. All right.
Caught him in a lie.
Do you know?
Look how frustrated the other guy looks right now.
Okay. And sounds like.
Glad you like it, Aida.
And something that may have happened. Do you think anything?
Well, Brandon over there is like, Mark's doing a great job.
I don't think so. I don't think what could have happened.
These guys could play poker with the best of them. That's funny.
All right.
I mean, sorry guys, this is not a funny subject. There's nothing funny about this at all. That was a poor choice of words, but these guys know so much already, and they're just catching him in lie after lie after lie after lie. That is all they're doing. And they're doing a heck of a job at it. Oh my goodness. Let's see. What is Autumn, who's one of our amazing moderators? I wish Stephan Stearns had a heart monitor on when the police said that about the book bag. Me too. Oh my goodness. We're going to go maybe another minute here, and then we're going to go back to a couple of comments that you guys have made.
Do you know anybody that lives in St. Cloud? Do you know where St. Cloud is?
Oh, dropping that they know he went to St. Cloud.
That's north or south?
East.
East.
East of Kissimmee.
I've been out there too much. Yeah.
I mean, other than to dump a body.
St. Cloud.
Okay. Whereabouts in St. Cloud? Like, do you know friends out there, or?
I don't have any friends really.
Man, that's a great place to stop. That's a great place. I don't have any friends really. I'm kind of sick of looking at that guy. Let's look at Maddie for a second. This is our victim. We don't want to forget our victim. You guys have been just amazing in the chat. I want to go over to a couple of comments that I've starred along the way. Go through those here real quick. Maxine said, Gavin, is it possible that Jen and Stephan were getting money for CSAM? They were both broke but had money. Seems there was something about friends in St. Cloud. Well, he just mentioned friends in St. Cloud. Now that, like, I started this probably 10 minutes ago. But anyway, so I believe that Stephan was, at least Stephan was making money on CSAM. And Stephan's parents believe, at least Chris, his dad believes. Let's get over, here we go. At least his dad believes that he was making money, and his dad also believes that they were doing it together. So yeah, it's absolutely possible that that was happening. The likelihood that Jen was part of it, I think that, I mean, I just don't think that Jen is smart enough. It doesn't make her not culpable, but I don't think that she is smart enough to have gotten away with that with her own daughter. I think she was probably, I've used the word pimping, and I know that's kind of an offensive word, but that's the best one that I can think of. She was offering up her daughter to a guy that I can't believe she didn't know what it was that he was doing to her. So I don't know if that answers your question or not, but yeah. Birdie Big Bird, Gavin, first time in alive. Woohoo! Love your channel. Glad you're here. Sending love from Wales. Oh, that is the reason That's the reason that I started this one. I've been to Wales 3 or 4 times. I used to go to an audio show in Bristol, and sometimes I would fly into Wales, sometimes I'd fly into Bristol. But the first time I went to Wales, all I did, I think there was a bridge out or something like that, so I couldn't take the train. I took a bus from Bristol to Wales. I get off the bus and I walk up to Cardiff Square, like right in the middle of Cardiff Square, and I just stood there going, this is exactly where the TARDIS gets recharged. Awesome. And I turned around, hopped on. I think it was a train by that point. I think I had to take a bus at some point, but hopped back on the train, went back to Bristol. I was like, hey, I went to Cardiff. So anyway, that's my Wales story. Glad you're here. Angie, Gavin, do you actually think there will be a trial, or do you think they will offer him a deal? Would love your opinion. Yes, I'm happy to give you my opinion, Angie. The American justice system, the American court system, let's call it, is designed to not take cases to trial. It's only a minority of cases that go to trial. The vast majority of cases are adjudicated without a trial. As an example, in my county, there will be something like 1,200 criminal matters brought to the Court of Common Pleas. This does not include things like parking violations and speeding. These are criminal matters, right? It does include things like DUIs, but that's very criminal. So anyway, there will be like 1,200 cases that come to the Court of Common Pleas in any given year in the county that I live in. They have about 9 trials a year. The rest of them are adjudicated through plea bargaining or through the process of hearings, and a judge might dismiss a case. Most of them are pled out or pleaded out, however you say that. So, Angie, do I think they will offer him a deal? Yeah, they want to offer him a deal. They don't want to go to trial. They will go to trial if they have to, but they would much rather save the effort and put him in prison for the rest of his life and call it soup. That's just the way the system works. That's my opinion anyway, Angie. Thank you for the question. Let's see. Dana K45. Why has it been said that his trial won't be for many years? This is kind of a personal jihad of mine, Dana. Okay, so in the United States, in the justice system, there is what is called a right to a speedy trial. It is part of the Bill of Rights. It was written into the Bill of Rights in the first Constitution because that was one of the complaints that the colonies had against King George, was that he would hold defendants without charge in some cases, and so they put that into the Bill of Rights, the right to a speedy trial. But what happens ultimately in today's justice system is, usually with complex cases like these, there is so much that a defense has to prepare for that they usually waive the right to a speedy trial. Usually that's, and I'm talking the vast number of cases that make it to trial, the ones that are complex cases, not like simple DUIs or, those kind of maybe petty crimes. Those tend to move along pretty quickly. But in crimes like these, murder, the crimes that are even worse than murder, the sexual crimes, right? These typically get, the right to a speedy trial gets waived because the defense attorneys want time to prepare a defense. That's usually the way it is. And I think prosecutors are usually going, please waive the right to a speedy trial because I want to prepare a very good prosecution. So in this case, he has not waived his right to a speedy trial in the murder case. He has waived his right to a speedy trial on the battery case, where he's got like 60 charges against him, right? And in that case, he has waived his right to a speedy trial. So, and I think that the court will likely rule that the one has to be proven in order for the second one to move forward. There's probable cause. Remember, they've charged him with capital murder. And the reason that it's capital instead of just murder is because they allege that he committed the murder during the commission of another felony. That is what made it capital murder. So they need to prove that he did it during the felony. So my guess is the judge is going to go, well, we have to wait for that trial to end before this trial will begin. So yeah, this could be years. And I mean, I kind of don't mind. I want him to have a good defense. I want the prosecution to have a good case built up against him. And I'm stuttering over my words here. He must have a good defense. His attorney must put up a good constitutional defense. Otherwise, we kind of go back to English common law, 1775 English common law. And we don't want that, right? We're a constitutional republic. We want him to have a good defense, especially when the stakes are so high. So hopefully that answered your questions. Holly, Gavin, what's the status progression towards trial, i.e. hearings coming up? Where can we get those court updates? Hoping you will keep us in the loop. Yeah. So I don't look at the docket all the time, Holly, but let me bring this up. I accidentally brought it up a little bit earlier. Basically, if you go to the Osceola Clerk, so the website is courts.osceolaclerk.com, and you can do a case lookup. This is very typical throughout the entire United States. What you're looking for is the clerk of courts. Sometimes in some court systems, they have the civil records and the criminal records in different places. Oftentimes that is the case, but usually what is the case, it'll be the same court clerk that is in charge of both records. In some places, they will have them completely separate. So you're looking for criminal court records and you're looking for the clerk of court. I know in the state of Pennsylvania, we call the person who keeps the civil records the prothonotary. And then the criminal we call the clerk of courts. But oftentimes, especially in small counties, the prothonotary and the clerk of courts is the same person, same office. So anyway, just go to just Google Osceola clerk of courts criminal, and you'll be able to find this. It's not too difficult to find. So when Holly, you were asking, what is coming up, what you'll find on these, here are the parties. So he has a public defender. Mr. Stearns has a public defender, and I think somebody asked that. I think somebody asked that. So yeah, he is a public defender. So he was ruled indigent, which means that he does not have the financial means necessary to pay for his own attorney. Therefore, one was appointed for him. Here are all the charges. We're looking at the first case, and then there will be a calendar, right? So you can see that they scheduled a jury trial for last May. Of course, that was canceled. Then then it was scheduled for August. That was continued. So we've got a status hearing coming up a week from today at 9 a.m. In courtroom 4F of the Osceola County Courthouse. That's how you can find these. And then Florida does an amazing job. So none of these documents, you don't have to pay for any of these documents. You can just say, yeah, I want to see this pretrial document. It'll come up. Oh, I have to log in. I've let it go out, but these are all free. Okay. The murder case over here, again, he's got a public defender. He's charged with murder. His jury trial was originally scheduled for July. It was continued. So status hearing again is happening at the exact same time on this case as the other case. So just go to Osceola County Courts, the Osceola Clerk of Courts on the criminal side. You can Google it, you'll find it, but it's courts. Here, let me just copy this. I'll put it in the chat. Okay. There we go. All right. It's in the chat. Okay. Great question, Holly. Thank you very much. Let's bring Maddie back up. Go back up here. Liz asks, Gavin, have you heard the interview with the gentleman that saw Stephan on the road? I have not listened to all of the interviews that I have, but I've got them all. And I will be going through almost all of them in depth. So, Liz, I will get to that. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do, if you'd like to hear my take on that. Graham says, Gavin, do you know why Stephan and Jen broke up previously? Could it have been related to the abuse of Maddie? Okay, what they said, what Chris and Deb Stern said was that, no, who was it? Was it Angelica? I think multiple people said this. I think Angelica said it. I think Chris and Deb said it. I think Natalie said it. He just wasn't providing. And she didn't like that. I don't think it could be related to the abuse of Maddie because I think that she knew he was doing it, and she was, up until the night before Madeline died, she was still offering her daughter up on a silver platter to him. So I don't think so. But what do I know? Oh, here it is. Dom's mom says, do we know if he was given a public defender or if his parents got him a private attorney? It's a public defender, not public offender. That is what Stearns is alleged to be. A public defender is what has been assigned to him. Shell, I had not considered this before. I think the dog leash is significant. He woke Jen up to get it. Did he use it to unalive her? I wonder. I hadn't thought of it that way. I kind of thought that once he went down into the bedroom to get the dog leash, that the deed was done. And maybe he was trying to keep her from waking up. So he was going in to get the dog, to take the dog outside or something. That's the way I've always thought of it. But again, I don't know. That's a great comment, Shell. Thank you very much. Angie says, I'd also love your opinion on this interrogation. I think they could have done better, gotten more out of him, maybe. Thoughts? Give me just a second here. Oh my goodness. I talk so much. I need delicious, delicious water. What do I think of the interrogation? No, I think they did a pretty darn good job. I think that, first of all, they got him talking. Just talk. And it's not like they need a confession out of him. I mean, they've, of course, this happened before they found the body. They were looking for the body. And that's something that I think that we should remember here, is they were looking to find Madeline's body. They knew she was dead. They'd seen her on the videos. If we read the reports, they thought this was a murder case from almost the very beginning. They were looking for the body. So they were trying to get him to give up the body. They already had him dead to rights on the SA charges. So yeah, I think they did a pretty darn good job. They let him talk. Like, he kept digging a hole. He dug it deeper, wider. They did it. I thought they did a very good job. Now, have they done better? Sure. Yeah, I sure. But I think as far as what they needed out of him, they got it. And I mean, I know that we've got some lawyers that hang out here on the channel and watch my videos and even comment from time to time, which is pretty awesome. In these interrogations, they're doing it for a lot of different reasons, right? They're trying to accomplish a lot of things. But the biggest thing is that they're building a case. So they're going to try to make him as impeachable as possible, right? They're going to try to make him, they're trying to make him lie. They're not trying to make him lie. They're inviting him to go ahead and lie. And they're recording it and they're capturing it and they're getting lie after lie after lie after lie, so that if this does go to trial and he has some kind of excuse for, of course, he will have some kind of excuse. There will be a defense, right? they can go back to this and go, nope, he's a liar here, he's a liar there, he's a liar these 182 other times, and I think that they did a very good job of that. I really do. Let's see. Let me go back up. I want to just grab a couple of other. Zach says, Gavin, it's also quite possible that the DA seeks nothing short of the death penalty. If that happens, there would be no plea offer, and there would be no plea offer, and there would be trial. Yeah, it's possible. Sure. And I'm not familiar with this DA. It's going to depend on him or her. I'm not familiar with the DA. Maybe, I mean, it's Florida. Maybe they want to go for the DP. Good comment. Gavin, do you think Jen will ever get charged? I do. I do think she'll get charged. Texas Patty, Gavin, he was selling her for toys and vapes, etc. Disgusting. In my opinion, he was living off of her. That's a serious predator. I don't disagree, Patty. JPL. Jay the Stelladoro. Okay. Let's see. This hurricane is life-threatening. I doubt he's going to go to his hearing on the 14th. It'll be interesting to see what doesn't get wiped out. Hey, that's a very good comment. Hadn't thought about that before. It might get continued again. It might get continued anyway because, yeah, the lawyers will make motions for those kinds of things. Kathy, do you think JS will go to the trial if and when it happens? Yeah, probably will. There's something cathartic about it. There's something healing about witnessing a trial, even if she is partially culpable. Like there's something cathartic about it. I covered a trial in my day job where the victim, let's see, I don't want to get too much into this, but the victim's family were in the front row, and like they were in the row, they were directly in front of me. I think they were 2 rows ahead of me. And they purposefully in our courtroom, in our courthouse, it's kind of weirdly set up, but we've made agreements with the sheriff that those of us who are in the media can sit in a certain place where we can see everything, including like the digital displays and stuff like that. But typically the family, for the safety of the defendant, the family of the victim is kept on the other side of the courtroom. But in this case, they allowed the family to see the whole thing. That poor victim's family, the victim was a woman, her husband, her children, they were grown children, adults, sat there and looked at all of the photography of their dead mom and wife and cried and cried and cried. But they put themselves through that because they wanted to watch their loved one's murderer get convicted. Something healing about that. So yeah, I think Jen will be there. Emily Kate, UK. Hey, I just got back from the UK, Emily Kate. Gavin, I thought there was a photo of the inside of the car and the dog lead was around the headrest. I therefore thought he used it to keep her head up in the seat. I don't think it's a dog leash that's around the seat. I think it's kind of a seat belt. And you can go to my website here. Let's look together. Let me just go down to here. So let's see if we can see that together. I think it's the front seat that we're looking for. And you might be right. Let's see if we can look across this one. Can't really see it right there. Let me come back around to when they do the passenger side. Oh, yeah, you can see it right here. So to me, oh, yeah, well, that's the back seat, though. That's the back seat. That doesn't look like a lead. That actually, to me, looks like a safety harness. Here it is. Same thing here. I don't think that is a lead. I think that's a safety harness that he has in there. And I honestly, because this is his parents' car and they have told police that this is like their dog wagon, like, because they breed poodles and stuff like that. I think it's poodles. It doesn't surprise me that these leads are all throughout the car. I misspoke. These harnesses are throughout the car. So I don't think so. But I mean, I also could be wrong. Great question, Emily Kate. Thank you very much. Annie Ruler, Gavin, rigor starts 6 to 12 hours, becomes pronounced, makes me question time of death with her slumped over in the vehicle. Yeah, so for them to establish time of death on this case because they found her so many days later, I mean, she definitely would have been in a state of decomposition. I don't think that even Algor Mortis is going to tell them. So, okay, your question is rigor starts 6 to 12 hours and becomes pronounced. Yeah, I've wondered myself, like, so rigor mortis is just for you guys who don't know what we're talking about, I think you all probably do, but rigor mortis is the stiffening of the body. And what happens is about the first 36 hours, the body gets stiff till it is stiff. You can't move it without breaking things or tearing things. And then it releases. Could she have been in rigor? So we know she was alive at 11:30 based on, Angelica's and Natalie's testimony, which I trust more than like Jen's or Stephan's, so that we know she was alive around 11:30. She was seen in the 7:00 hour on video camera, kind of slumped over in the car. And I think the way Stephan acted out was probably pretty accurate. She's probably not slumped forward. She's probably laying back. Yeah, I don't think that she would have been in anywhere close to full rigor at that point. So she probably would have been okay to move around. So I've wondered if it was the early morning hours or if it was like 5 a.m. I think it's more likely that it happened the night of the 25th or the very early morning hours of the 26th. But that's the first time I've heard anyone bring that up as far as establishing a timeline. That's good thinking, Annie. I wonder if Jen's dog could smell death on Stephan Stearns. Likely, yeah. Laura Bell, Gavin, it also seems that you comment on Madeline's learning disabilities and Jen being not very smart. The one who isn't smart at all is lazy Steffi Stearns. Women are as smart as men, Gavin. Well, of course, women are as smart as men. Hello, I'm married to a genius. Yeah, please don't take me calling Jen Soto not smart as what would we call that? As an impeachment over half of the human species. No, I don't believe that at all. What I believe is that Jennifer is not very smart. I don't think Stephan is all that smart either. I think all the way around, this is not a bright pair. But yeah, interesting that you took that way. Interesting. Jenny Jen says, Gavin, watching for a while, but just subscribed. Well, thank you very much. I think they didn't ask much in case he asked for an attorney. They want to get all they could from him before that. That's a very good observation. I think you're right. Lee says, Gavin, also that long recorded video with the jail officer transferring him was on purpose, in my opinion, to show he's not got any deficiencies in his understanding ability to think. Yeah. The state of Florida is very open in their public records laws. Very open. That is why we see so many cases out of Florida, because the media can cover it because it's very open. So he probably chatted him up to show that he's a normal guy. Kind of like old Mr. D'Angelo pretending to be this like decrepit old man in court, but in his jail cell he's climbing all over the place. Yeah, it could be that. Lily, Gavin, I think the multitude of his offenses, the community may demand a trial, especially with these CSAM peddlers and predators. Well, I mean, I was about to just completely disagree with you, but the district attorney is an office that is an elected office. District attorneys hardly ever lose their seat, though. I don't know that a lot of district attorneys feel tons of pressure from the community. And it's very easy to convince the community, I think, that it was better for him to plead it out. He's going to be in prison the rest of his life anyway. I'm not saying that's what's going to happen. I'm just saying I think that I think the community could be satiated either way. Gavin, can you put a link up for your website? It's in the description below. Jazzy Boop. Holly, is the dog leash in one of those pics? Would be interesting to go through pics and identify them. Yeah, go for it. All the pictures are on the website. Go for it, Holly. Captain Obvious says it's a dog seat belt. Yeah, I think you're right. Poodle ambulance. I think you're right. Gavin, Jennifer Soto will be state's witness if the derivative immunity is anything to go by. She will be at trial, but if the rule is invoked, won't be able to view the proceedings till she's done testifying. Oh, talking about her going to the trial. Yeah, I didn't even think of that. Zach, good call. Good call. Let's see. Yep, it's a dogmobile. Great comments. Vicky Maynard, Gavin, I think she was newly dead in the car, and then he switched her body to Jen's car. That's why the dog's alerted to Jen's car, but not Stephan Stern's. Yeah, I mean, that's possible. Maybe, I mean, she would have been newly dead either way. I wonder how long it takes for the decomposition smells to be picked up by dogs. Great comments, guys. Holy cow. Gavin, has there been any info released about whether Madeline got dressed on her own or someone else dressed her? I have not. I haven't heard either way on that. All right, guys. Wow. Great comments tonight. Thank you very much. Let me see if there are any plugs that I want to do before we finish. I always want to plug the website, right? Always go to the website. There's tons there. There are photos. There are all the videos I've done. There's audio. There's all sorts of stuff. Also, you can contact me on the website by clicking this button. You can subscribe to my e-newsletter here. It's called Crime Cod. It is free. It is not spammy, and it's easy to unsubscribe if you don't mind, or if you like to get true crime info in your inbox. Go ahead and subscribe to that. By the way, guys, do you remember the case of the murder of Kirby Carpenter? I've covered this on my channel a couple times. I even had his sister Casey on. Well, I have obtained about a little over 300 pages. It's the preliminary hearing transcript of the preliminary hearing of Jeff. What are their names? Jeff Spence, Karen Spence, and Caitlin Spence. I'm going to be writing up a blog post on that. And so if you want to be alerted as to when I do that, please go ahead and subscribe to CrimeCod, because I will send that out. Other thing, click on this little fishy that will take you to the fish tank. We are a growing little community of true crime aficionados, and we go over all sorts of cases, not just the ones that I cover, but other ones like this one. We talk about all sorts of things. So please head on over there if you are on Facebook. Is there anything else that I want to say? I guess not. I think that's it. Other than thank you. Thank you very much for joining me. The channel is going through really, I don't want to call it a renaissance. Let's call it a naissance. We are not rebirthing. We are birthing. We are growing. Man, we're getting close to that $100,000 goal that, man, I've been dreaming about for 4 years. So if you haven't subscribed already and you like this kind of content, please, subscribe. I just saw a thing that says, Patty Girl says, cadaver scent is detected within minutes. Wow. So why would she not have been detected in Stephan's car, but was in Jen's? That's food for thought. We'll think about that one. We'll come back tomorrow with part 2 of this video. So, click on the notification bell if you want to know when I'm going live. It's at 7:30 tomorrow. Or if you join the fish tank, there is a little messenger group chat where Jamie and Autumn will give you the heads up when I'm about to go live. It's usually a 30-minute heads up and then a 5-minute heads up, just in case notifications aren't working well for you. Okay, with that, I will bid you adieu, and I will see you tomorrow at 7:30. All right, until then, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you liked what you saw, please consider subscribing. And if you have any questions or comments, please leave them below.